old enough that I've been watching the NBA for a long time, and I'm going to watch it until, the day I pass away, I'll be watching an NBA game in the hospital. I love the NBA, and I always have, and I certainly like the transcendent stars, and there aren't very many. Every decade gives us about one or two guys. The Great Eight, I've been watching the NBA now for 4 decades, 40 years, okay, since I'm like 10 years old. There have been, I will call them the Great Eight. They have changed the game. Not just won titles, changed the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. There's never been a shot that unstoppable. Magic and Larry saved the league. Michael made it global. Shaq, for 10 years, was the most dominant player I've ever seen, including Michael Jordan. Tim Duncan, for 15 years, created a Texas dynasty. LeBron James, arguably GOAT, and Steph Curry is not one of the 8 great players. But these are the game changers. Steph Curry has made centers obsolete. You watch college games now. Duke, Kansas shoot 53 pointers. That is Steph. Steph has changed the way we play the game with an emphasis on three-pointers. Three-pointers existed 20 years before Steph. He mastered them. Everybody is looking now for the next Steph. Those are the Great Eight. Kobe Bryant was good, but he's diet Michael Jordan. He's MJ Light, and Shaq was the bigger star. So those are the 8 players, the Great Eight. There are also, because the NBA media is constantly trying to find the next star, I would call these the fake 8. I was told they were going to wreck the league. I was told they were going to be transformative. I was told they were going to change the West or the East or the entire NBA. And they never did. And I never bought into them from day one. And you know I didn't, because I've spent 10, 15 years telling you they weren't going to change the league. Stevie Francis, Stephon Marbury, Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin, Melo, Westbrook, Giannis, and Anthony Davis. Giannis has been in this league 5 years. They're still in Milwaukee, not viable. Anthony Davis is a hell of a player. He's never won a playoff game. How many years has he been in this league? Some of these players, like Giannis and Anthony Davis and Westbrook, are remarkable all-time talents. But they're the fake 8. They may change losses to wins. They may win some awards. They're not changing anything about this league. But there is a young player who I believe would make my Great 8 into a Great 9. And you'll be surprised in Philadelphia because I think it's Ben Simmons. When I watch many of these great young players, Westbrook, Wall, Marbury, I'm awed by their talent, but I think I wouldn't want to play with them. You and I have all gone to the local YMCA. We've played in games with remarkably dynamic point guards, but you kind of feel like you're watching them, not playing with them. Ben Simmons is different. No, he can't shoot, but Magic Johnson couldn't either for the first 2 years he was in this league. You're never going to rely on Ben Simmons to be your leading shooter, but he'll be dropping 23 a night like Magic Johnson, and on other nights giving you 17 assists like Magic. And on some nights, after an injury, he'll move into the 4 spot or center and play that too. This kid's an all-timer. I told you out of college, I didn't care that he couldn't make the tournament. I didn't care what happened at LSU. He is 6'9", and the closest thing I've seen to Magic Johnson. He is remarkable. Now, does he have Magic's understanding of the game, acumen, basketball intelligence, life intelligence? I don't know. He's a kid, 21 years old. But I've been told for years and years of the Marburys, the Westbrooks, do you really want to play with those guys? Ben Simmons will not have to be a great shooter. Shooters are going to want to play with him. That's the greatness of Magic. That's the greatness of LeBron, and it's the greatness of Ben Simmons. It's an incredibly inclusive style. We pay way too much attention to vertical jumps, slam dunks, and long threes. Somebody's got to pass. Magic, LeBron, and Simmons are going to be 20-plus scorers a game. Those are career averages, and Simmons won't have to be a great scorer. I know, Philadelphia, you think I hate you. I don't. You're just better at this point than I thought you would be. And it's not about Embiid. It's about Ben Simmons. Here's some things, before Doug Gottlieb comes on the show, here's some things that have happened in the NBA in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Kyrie Irving out for the year for the Boston Celtics. Golden State, Steph is out. They're injured. They're not playing well. The hottest team in the league is the youngest, the Philadelphia 76ers. San Antonio appears to have a huge skirmish between their star player Kawhi and their star coach Greg Popovich. And the Toronto Raptors have come back to earth, embarrassing themselves twice against the Cleveland Cavaliers. While all this has been happening, here's something else that's been happening. That guy you buried in January and February, LeBron, that team you buried, Cleveland, is finally healthy. They've won 10 of 12. They beat Toronto twice. And LeBron is humming and completely engaged. I just want to remind you, the road to the finals, Golden State and Houston could face. Without Steph, Golden State could face Oklahoma City in the first round. Get him back to face either San Antonio or Portland, and then have to face Houston before going to the finals. Folks, that is 20 miles of muddy, unpaved road. The Houston Rockets could face the T-Wolves with Jimmy Butler, one of the best coach teams, kind of the Celtics of the West, the Utah Jazz, and then face Golden State. Again, 20 miles of bumps, bruises, gravel, and mud. LeBron in the first round will face Victor Oladipo and the Pacers, followed by a Toronto team full of baby dinosaurs that's petrified of the king, followed by either the youngest team in the league, Philly, who's not really title contender this year, or Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, the Celtics. 7-1 odds for Cleveland to win the title. Right now you're telling me there's no chance he can win. None. LeBron, Cavs, 0 chance. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Doug Gottlieb, let's bring him on. Our NBA, college basketball, but we're talking basically everything today. Let me start with this. I called it the Great 8 and the Fake 8. There are a lot of great players in basketball, but when you control the basketball, do you elevate others? Magic Johnson broke into this league and couldn't really shoot. It was not a great defensive player, but man, everybody was better with Magic. There was his first year in the finals. Caldwell Jones gets hurt. He moves into finals. Chick Hearn, the late, great Laker announcer, once said you needed 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. Magic would choose what he had to do tonight. To me, Ben Simmons is got a lot of magic.
Well, remember your first Super Bowl at Fox, I sat on your couch and I said, he's the best one and done. And people said, you're crazy. Kevin Durant was better at Texas. And I said, no, you have to watch him play and understand how easy it is for him to make other people better.
It's incredible.
Other people better. But I also think it points out something else that's been missed in the discussion about the greatness and dominance of LeBron James. It has helped greatly, the same reason it's helped greatly for Giannis Antetokounmpo and for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons and Giannis can't shoot, okay? But they can get anywhere they want on the floor.
Right.
And the reason is the floor is so spread out, you take away there's no more power forwards. The 6'8", 240, 250.
Gone.
The guy who's built like LeBron James but only plays around the basket
He's done.
is gone. And so you have maybe one rim protector, if that, and 5 guys starting outside the three-point line. It allows guys that if they're big enough and long enough and strong enough and adept enough to create for themselves and others, they get a crease, they can get right to the cup.
And he does.
Yes. And now look, he formed his game after Magic, after LeBron, but also after Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is actually who he tried to pattern his game after. And so I don't think he's LeBron yet because he can't shoot at all.
Let me throw this at you, though, Doug. I agree with you. But here's a difference. Shooters will want to play with him.
No question. Everybody wants to play with a guy who dimes you up.
So my point is, if he's not a great shooter, but literally every veteran shooter's like, I'll take a pay cut and play with him. he'll get to championships. And that's where I think he'll be elevated beyond. Because I agree with you. I watch him, and I'm like, that was my knock on him. I'm like, he can't shoot.
Well, he's shooting with the wrong hand. Most people think. Like, remember, he's ambidextrous.
Yes.
He does everything in life with his right hand, finishes around the basket with his right hand. The only thing he does left-handed is shoot jump shots, and he obviously doesn't shoot jump shots well. Right. And so there are a lot of people in the NBA are like, hey, in the offseason, in addition to trying to fix Lonzo Ball's jump shot,
right,
we might want to have him shoot right-handed.
Right.
So that's going to be if he does that, he can be on your grade 8 all-time great list.
Yeah.
If you can't shoot, you become a great player who can't shoot. LeBron James, in year 15, has become a much better outside shooter than he has been any point previously in his career.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.